Hello, everybody. This is Skip Alzheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime Streaming Show, where we watch old 16mm films, and those were some random clips from Coronet stock footage cans. So, if you don't know, Coronet was an educational film company who we ended up getting a bunch of their films from them directly, and 14 pallets worth of stuff, like 9,000 cans. And we've been slowly going through and scanning them. And some of them are full prints that have sound, and we've been watching some of those, and we'll actually watch one today. But some of them have been silent. It's raw preprint material, so we clip those up and try to sell those for stock footage. And sometimes we make a little salad, a random shuffle of some random stuff. So that's what we've been doing for the last couple of days. Today kind of accidentally became a theme. So hope you like raccoons, because we have a lot of films about raccoons. Some new stuff and some old stuff and some stuff we haven't seen in a long time. So this is our tribute to the trash panda, the raccoon. And I'll tell a story about the AV Geeks archive encounter with raccoons. So here we go. Raccoon's Picnic. Enjoy.
Once upon a time, there were two little raccoons who decided to see how everything around them looked in the daytime. You see, usually, raccoons sleep in the daytime and only come out at night to look for food. That's why we don't see raccoons very often when we're in the woods. Willie and Beatrice liked the look of everything very much, so they decided to take a walk. Raccoons' feet are shaped like little hands, and they have sharp claws, so climbing rocks or trees is easy for them. The black and white fur on their faces make them look like they're wearing bandit masks. And they have rings round their tails. Well, Beatrice and Willie were so excited about being out in the daytime that they kept getting in each other's way. And finally, Willie fell off the rock ledge. Beatrice climbed down head first, but she had to go right back up again because that's where her brother was going. But again Willie fell, and so did Beatrice. This time they stayed down. Willie found a pool of water, but as he was drinking, something jumped out of the pond and frightened him. He looked, and he looked. And there was a big frog. Now Willie had often seen his mother catch frogs to eat, but try as he might, he just couldn't catch this one. Then he heard a noise. He and Beatrice peeked over a rock, and they saw two boys who had come to the lake to swim. Willie and Beatrice saw that the boys had left something on the rocks, so they decided to see what it was. Whatever it was, it smelled good, and it didn't jump away like the frogs. Of course, it was the boys' lunch that they'd found, and the sandwiches tasted just fine. Sometimes Willie could be greedy, and although there was an orange right beside him, he wanted to have the one his sister had found. But how do raccoons eat oranges? Willie found a bottle of milk and tried to get the top off. Willie got the top off and had a good drink. But then no more milk came, although he could see there was more inside. Well, he just had to give it up. Anyway, Beatrice had found a piece of candy, and just one taste was all that Willie needed. He wanted it too. Then the two boys saw the raccoons eating their lunch. Uh-oh. Willie saw the boys coming, and they were throwing stones. Well, when Willie and Beatrice saw how angry the boys were, they ran as fast as they could for home. Perhaps after all, raccoons should only come out at night.
Well, that ended kind of abruptly, but I'm gonna already. I see a theme. What's going to be happening? Very similar to the Adventures of Bunny Rabbit, where we see a bunny rabbit making his way from the wilderness to other places, and so yeah, this is going to happen a lot. I'm at the archive right now. I'm prepping for a show that I'm doing Tuesday live at the Alamo Draft House. It's called O Canada. And so that last film was made by Crawley Films, which was a Canadian educational film company, if you could not have guessed by the pronunciation of different things. So what I do is I pull films from the stacks, which are all now off-site at storage units, and then I kind of splice everything together into a show. Then I run it through a projector to make sure that it runs okay. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. So this next film is about two raccoons. Although I would, the last film was about two raccoons. So here we go. Two raccoons. Enjoy.
In this hollow tree live young animals. Doesn't seem to be anyone at home.
Oh, yes, we are, but we're down here. Be up there in a minute. We just come back from a hunting trip. It was so much fun. Came home to rest a few minutes before we start looking for more food. We're always so hungry. Phew, what a climb. Oh, I'm a raccoon. My name is Randy, and that's my brother Wilbur.
Hello?
Now cut that out. You can tell we're raccoons by the black masks around our eyes and the rings on our tail. We love to play on these branches, but right now we're hungry again. So let's go, Wilbur. We're not too particular about what we eat, so long as it tastes real good. We can dig up all sorts of delicious things with our claws. Hey, Wilbur, look what I've found. An old rotten tree. I bet there's a lot to eat around here. Now, if I can, just get up here, I'll be able to dig out these insects. What a feast this is. Ha! Wilbur's found himself an old bird's nest to clean out. Of course, this is where we usually hunt for food. Our favorite hunting ground is a brook which runs near our home. When we were very little, our frogs and crayfish, and now we're very good at it. See, we don't need fishing rods to catch our fish. We just go after them with paws. This kind of hunting keeps our paws nice. Ah, there's my favorite food, a frog. Now, if I'm real careful, I'll... Hey, stand still a minute. How am I going to catch you if you keep hopping away? Say, Wilbur, give me a hand, will you?
I'm coming, Randy.
Wilbur, look what's coming along now, a turtle. Oh, my Wilbur never could control his curiosity.
Hey, don't go away now. I'm just beginning to learn about you. Come back here. Now let's see. How do I get inside this?
Uh-oh, I just know something dreadful's gonna happen. There, I knew it. Wilbur's got his nose bitten.
Well, I've never been so insulted in my whole life. The nerve of some animals can't let a self-respecting turtle alone. Really?
Well, what shall we do now? Say, look, there's Farmer Brown's house. That's Tommy and Jane Brown playing outside. They're friends of ours, you know. Don't they play silly games, though? I bet they can't catch fish the way we do. People just aren't very smart, I guess. Wilbur, I see some berry bushes. Let's get some berries. My, don't they look delicious? You know, some people say that we look like little bears with long tails.
Do you Do you think we look like little bears with long tails?
Look, Wilbur, where do you suppose Tommy and Jane are going? What is that Tommy's carrying? Let's follow them. Why, they're going to have a picnic. You think they might invite us to join them if we promise not to eat too much? Ah, Tommy has seen us. He's asking us over. Well, come on, Slowpoke, let's go. Some people say that raccoons make cute pets, but they don't let us in their house because we get into so much mischief. Well, can we help it if we're curious about everything?
Don't know what this is, but it tastes pretty good. Now, what's in here? Hey, put me down, Tommy. I want to eat, not play.
This is delicious, but I'm getting awfully full. I don't think I can take another bite, thank you. Come along, Wilbur. We still have many things to do today. We like Tommy and Jane because they're kind to us. They feed us and pet us. Goodbye. We'll see you again soon.
What's that? Mr. Woodchuck just scared me half to death. Calm down, calm down. No need to get so excited. I'm not going to hurt you. I only wanted to be friendly.
You raccoons always nosing around where you don't belong. Go away, go away, go away.
Well, if that's the way you feel about it, all right.
Say, look, the Browns are going away. Do you suppose we might...
Why not? There's no one home. Come on, Randy. This is our chance to see how people live.
I wonder how we can get inside. Ooh, look, a window, and it's open.
I don't know about you, but I couldn't squeeze through that small opening.
All right, then let's open it wider.
Here, let me help you.
Look, great help you are.
Well, let's try again.
Look, Wilbur. Now, how are we gonna work this?
Look, I'm getting in.
Well, if you can do it, I guess I can too. There.
So this is the kind of house people live in. Let's look around. What's in here? Boy, this doesn't look much like a frog, but it tastes even better.
Wilbur, you know we're being awfully naughty coming in here like this.
Oh, stop worrying. Nobody will ever know. Besides, there's so many interesting things to see and do in here. I'll get to the bottom of this.
Well, if you think it's all right. Let's see what's in this funny-looking box. I wonder what this is. Maybe it's a nut. Doesn't taste like a nut.
Randy, look. This must be a bird's nest. There are eggs in it. Funniest bird's nest I ever saw. It's a good thing I can hold things with my paws. Most animals can't, you know.
Wonder what this is.
Next to frogs, I love eggs best.
Now, how can I open this? There must be some way to get into it.
Hey, Randy,
Oh, you frightened me. Now look what you've done.
let me have it.
No, give it to me. I found it first. Well, I have my share.
Oh, yeah? Well, so have I think.
Look what I found. Great.
Uh-oh, look who's coming back. Oh, look, Wilbur and Randy, the little rascals. They shouldn't have come into our house without being invited. But let's tiptoe quietly so that we won't frighten them.
Wilbur, do you see what I see? Let's get out of here, quick.
No, wait, you two have been very naughty coming in here like this. Houses are for people, not for raccoons. If you want to be our friends, you must promise never to come in here and do mischief again.
We're sorry, Tommy and Jane. We'll never do it again, honestly. Let's go, Wilbur. That was fun, but we must never again go where we don't belong. Houses are for people, not for raccoons.
Well, these trees are for raccoons and not for people.
I guess this is where we really belong, isn't it, Wilbur?
I guess it is, Randy. My, it's good to be home.
Yeah, it's kind of a trope. This one was, they were talking. This is very similar to, there's the Snookum Bears film, where the Snookum Bears, which I think are actually coyote, and they're related to raccoons. They do a similar adventure where they go to a dude ranch and wreck everything. But they don't have his annoying nasal voice. But this next film, this is a film that we recently scanned. It's Coronet, and it's in color. Maybe this explains the deal with raccoons. Maybe they're just bored. Here's Buffy the bored raccoon.
Once, or maybe once upon a time, if you like that better, in a lovely forest beside a clear stream, there lived a little raccoon named Buffy. Buffy, sad to say, was not a happy raccoon. Buffy was bored. She was so tired of seeing nothing but trees all day long. So tired of having nothing but the same old rocks to walk on, the same old birds singing, and the wind always rustling through the leaves, and the river always bubbling its way down into the valley. She was sure there were more interesting things in the world than the forest. And then there was that turkey vulture again, soaring high above. That meant he'd probably spotted her. So she'd have to hide again, as she'd done at least 1,000 times. The first time that happened, it was exciting. Now it was boring. Why couldn't that bird just leave her alone? Once again, Buffy had to show the turkey vulture she wasn't afraid. The turkey vulture bored her just as much as the woods and the river did. Every morning, she'd go down to the river to look for something to do. The river was never any different either. Then the fish came by and wanted to play again. Water tag was his favorite game. Buffy played for a little while, but that was the same game the fish always played, and Buffy was tired of it. And then that pesky little crayfish snuck up on her again and grabbed hold of her tail with his claw. It was funny the first time he had done it, but it was the only trick he knew. And now it was boring, just like everything else. Everything was always the same here. Buffy felt there just had to be some place where things were different and more exciting than they were in the forest. So early the next morning, Buffy set out down a quiet road to find some excitement. The road passed a farm. There were different animals here than there were in the forest. Maybe a farm would be a more exciting place. When she saw some pigs eating, it reminded her that she was getting kind of hungry. And a truck was serving food, lots of it. Food seemed easier to get here than it was in the forest, but there didn't seem to be too much excitement on the farm. But as long as she was there, she thought she'd eat. She was so busy eating, she didn't notice that the farm animals weren't exactly happy to share their food with her. She tried to introduce herself, but when a mule gave her a nudge, she got the idea. The farm animals didn't want her around. Well, she decided she didn't care for them, or their food very much either. So on she ran, hoping she'd find someplace better. And pretty soon, just over a hill, there was a city. Now Buffy was sure this must be the exciting place she had been looking for. So many cars, so many people. Nothing looked boring. Everything looked new to her. The city was exciting and different. Nothing ever stopped. People and cars kept moving all the time. The city was busy. But it was noisy. The sounds hurt her ears. And the air smelled awful. She kept having to scoot out of the way of the cars. They were worse than the turkey vulture. And then suddenly, she didn't know what was happening. Well, what had happened was this. A man from the animal shelter had caught Buffy. He usually caught stray dogs and cats, but a stray raccoon in the city needed just as much help. The man already knew what Buffy was beginning to understand. A busy city isn't a good place for a raccoon. A cage in an animal shelter is a safer place. It was quiet at the animal shelter, and the air smelled good, even though not as good as the air in the forest. As Buffy began looking around her cage, she started feeling sorry she had ever left the forest. She was sorry she hadn't been satisfied with the trees and the river. At least she had been free then. Now she was in a cage. And then she was surprised to see another raccoon. He had come to the city for excitement too. Buffy was afraid neither one of them would ever see their forest again. But she was wrong. A few days later, Buffy, her new friend, and other little forest animals that had wandered into the city were put into boxes and loaded onto a helicopter for an important trip. They were all going back to places where they could live safely. And in no time at all, Buffy and her new friend were on a hillside not far from their forest. The air smelled good again, and the birds were singing. Now, the forest seemed like the most wonderful place in the world, and Buffy and her friend would never think it was boring again.
I mean, what a strange story. Like, the fact that we're ascribing human emotions. Well, that raccoon's just bored. He's just bored. So that's why she's getting into all sorts of mischief. She's bored. So we had Beatrice, we had Buffy, Wilbur. I can't remember the name of the other two raccoons so far. This one is, I I've shown this before, and this definitely has a North Carolina connection, in that it was made by Walter J. Klein, which was a company based in Charlotte. They were kind of an ad agency that also made sponsored films. So these are films that what they would do is they'd come up with a premise, then they would shop it around to different companies and say, like, hey, if you sponsor this film, this is what's going to happen, is it will pay for the production, it will pay for distribution, then it will either be shown on television or it will be shown in schools or both. And so that was the model. Walter J. Klein, I met him once, and his kids, because his kids were the ones that were mostly making the educational films. But Walter J. Klein, his ad agency was responsible for advertising Chimney Rock as a tourist destination, which I think just opened recently. They finally cleared all the hurricane debris. It was also responsible for the regrettable marketing of South of the Border, which is in Dillon, South Carolina. And they also helped create a hot sauce based in North Carolina called Texas Pete. So those are things that Walter J. Klein contributed to our culture. And that he also gave us Ricky the Raccoon. Enjoy.
I guess that makes it.
Well, Jackie, what do you think of this nice new house? Would you like to live here?
Sure, Dad. Say, where are all the kids?
They're probably playing down by the schoolyard. It's only a short distance away from here.
That's great.
If you're very careful, you can drive your bike or walk to school from here.
Swell, I'm going right now.
Hold it, young man. You'd better stick around here until your father and I have a chance to teach you a few things about walking safety and bicycle safety. We don't want you hurt.
Oh, Mom, nothing's gonna happen to me. What's so different about this neighborhood?
What's that? The animal comes with the house?
Afraid so? Probably strayed from a circus, but he's terrific with kids. And he'll help Jackie get around safely.
You're new.
Not really. I've been around for about 8 years now. I'm Jackie.
I'm Ricky Raccoon.
Oh, I thought you were a teddy bear who swallowed too many vitamins.
So, you want to find the other children? Well, you could follow the yellow brick road, but that will lead to another movie. To get to the school, we have to cross that street.
Great, let's go.
Jackie, stop.
Your mother's right. Always cross the street in marked crosswalks or at street corners only.
And when you get to that spot, walk only with the traffic signal or at the direction of a police officer or school patrol. Now, there's no light here, but I see there is a police officer.
Oh, no, it's that crazy bear.
That's Raccoon, kid, with 2 C's and 2 O's. And while you're waiting, always stand on the curb, not in the street. Before leaving the curb, be sure the way is clear. Stop, look both ways, watch for turning cars.
When you do start across, walk fast, but don't run. Stay alert for cars, which may suddenly turn into the street. Watch how you walk if the pavement's wet or uneven.
Say, what do I do if it's raining? A little guy like me might not see where he's going and run into a wild bear or something.
How many times I gotta tell you, fella? I'm a raccoon with 2 C's and 2 O's. If you carry an umbrella, do so in such a way as to keep a clear view, like this. Stay alert, watch out for traffic.
Well, what if I'm walking across the street and I suddenly see my old pal Larry? I might stop to wave a call to him so we can play ball or eat lunch together.
No, son, that's not the way to do it. Always walk directly across the street. Don't waste time talking or waving or anything else that'll slow you down. Wait till you're completely across and on the curb.
Got another problem, Mom. Suppose this bear over here and I are playing ball, and the bear hits a good one into the street.
That's raccoon, kid. Raccoon, bear, bear, raccoon. You think you got it?
Yeah.
That's especially dangerous, Jackie. The National Safety Council says you should stay out of streets or roadways while you're playing. Only after you've made sure it's safe should you go into the street after balls, pets, or anything else. Best thing is to play away from the street.
Right now, Jackie, you're with your family, who are always concerned about you. But be especially careful when you're walking with a group, just as you would by yourself. Watch out for your safety. Don't depend on others. Stop! Here's a driveway. Always watch for cars backing out.
Another intersection. But
Top means stop, green for go at the bottom when it's safe. Yellow is a warning. It's that way for cars and for us walkers.
Here's a special danger. At many intersections, cars may keep moving past a red light after stopping if they are turning to the right. That means that you, the pedestrian, have to take even greater care. The car should stop for you, but look out. Little people are sometimes hard to see.
Jackie, why are you bent over like that? Does your back hurt?
no, Mom, it's that sign. It says stoop. I'm stooping.
No, silly, not stoop. Stop. It's very important to know your street signs, their shapes and meanings. A red sign means stop or not to do something, like not entering a street. A yellow sign is a warning. Black letters on white signs give us information, like how fast a car can drive. Orange lets us know about road work ahead. Service signs, like those telling us hospitals and telephones are ahead, are blue. Recreation and scenic areas have brown signs.
Watch out! Watch out! That's what the diamond-shaped sign says to us. It's a warning, like for a bridge out.
A sign shaped like this, rectangular, gives us traffic information. This kind of rectangular sign contains information on where to go. And do you know what a circle sign tells us?
A train bear is coming?
Nope. A bear on a train, maybe. Railroad crossing signs are circles.
My mummy always said I was a raccoon with one N.
school sign at five-sided. It lets you know there's a school up ahead. And here we are, Jackie.
At last. But what happens when I go back home? And it's dark.
The best clothes to wear at night are ones that are white. Or try to carry something white, light in color, or something that reflects light. Or carry a flashlight so people driving cars will see.
And when you cross the street, cross where there are street lights so you and the car drivers can see each other.
Day or night, if you come upon an area where there is no sidewalk, walk on the left side of the road. Walk on the left side.
Don't worry. This looks like a real friendly neighborhood. I could get a ride home with someone. Did I say the wrong thing?
Yep. Jackie, there are a lot of lonely people who sometimes look for young people like you to be their friend. But some of these people may not be nice. They may even try to hurt children. So you must never accept a ride from anyone unless we've already said it's okay. Even if he or she offers you candy or says your father or mother said you should ride with them.
No thanks.
Come on, you look kind of tired. Why don't you get in?
No thanks.
Even if they say you said it was okay?
You know we wouldn't ask anyone to pick you up without telling you first. You remember that? We'll remember that.
Of course, you could drive your bicycle home, Jackie.
What
There
bicycle?
are no bicycles.
Those bicycles.
Great, let's go!
Have you checked over your bike, Jackie?
Just barely, Mr. Bear.
Well, first get a bike that fits you. Especially the brakes. Have a horn or a bell, a basket to carry small things, a light on the front and rear, and reflectors all around. Okay?
Okay.
You should have your parents' permission before you drive your bike in the street. When you do, Jackie, be sure to obey all the traffic signs, signals, and markings.
Gee, you'd think I was driving a car. Lots of things to think about.
That's right. Someday you probably will drive a car, Jackie. Driving a bike the right way will make it easier to drive a car. Until then, you're going to be out there on the street with the cars, and they are bigger than you are. So, be certain to drive your bicycle on the right with the traffic and drive in a single file. Remember, walk on the left, bike on the right.
Whether you're driving your bike or walking, be sure you go directly to or from home by the designated safe way to go. Don't walk or drive through other people's yards, in wooded areas, or unfamiliar places.
The National Safety Council says that over half of bike accidents occur at intersections, so be especially careful here. Cross with care. Get off your bike and walk it across using the crosswalks.
Maybe I'll notice my old pal Susie Parker after school waiting for a ride home. So maybe I'll be thoughtful and give her a ride home on the back of my bike.
Not smart, Jackie boy. That's the way boys and girls hurt themselves. Your bicycle was built to carry only you. While you're riding, use hand signals to let others know when you are turning or stopping. Up, like this, means you're turning right. Out, like this, means you're turning left. Down, like this, shows you're stopping or slowing down.
There are other dangers to watch out for while driving your bike. Look out for car doors opening into you or for cars pulling out into traffic in front of you.
Watch for drain grates, soft shoulders, and other road problems. They could throw you off your bike.
So many things to think about. Maybe I just won't go to school after all. Or I could ride a bus or get in a carpool, right?
You're important, Jackie. We want you alive and healthy. Even if you're waiting for a bus, there are valuable rules to remember, like waiting on the curb or in a safety zone. Be sure the school bus driver knows if you need to cross the street after getting off the school bus. Walk about 12 feet ahead of the bus and look at the driver. If you can see him, you know you are where he can see you. Then cross the street, always looking both ways before going to the other side.
Even if the school bus lights are flashing and the stop sign is out?
Yes, always look both ways to be sure the street is safe before crossing. If you're in a carpool, get into or out of a car on the curb side. Once in the car, fasten your seatbelt. A lot of these rules are just good old common sense, Jackie. Think before you go into the street. Think before you get on your bike. Think, and don't accept a ride with a stranger.
What's wrong?
I just thought of something. I'd better go home. I haven't been home in days, I'll bet.
Where exactly is home?
Rupert Riley's rambunctious raccoon rodeo. Come visit me sometime.
We will, but how will we know you?
Can't miss me. I'm the only bear in the whole act.
We would call that zany. That was needlessly zany. And, you know, of course, the running gag is that he's a bear. But boy, they piled a bunch of information in there. They were like, let's cover all the safety stuff. We'll just take all the ones where they could be addressed. And I feel like have been addressed in individual Walter J. Klein films, and they smushed them all together into one big thing. Dangerous strangers, bike safety, bus safety, home safety, the whole thing. It's nuts. All right. So if I haven't, well, let me just share my raccoon story. So when I was living here at the archive, we had a cat named Sirloin Beef Tips who was basically a neighborhood cat who we kind of adopted, or he adopted us. And so he was indoor outdoor. So I put in a cat door for him in the back where the films were, and he would go in and out, which is great because then we didn't have to, like, what was funny is I had no idea if the cat ever pooped because we didn't have a litter box. He would just go outside and poop and pee. And so it was kind of great. Unfortunately, he would bring in animals all the time. And so he brought in mice, voles, moles, bats, snakes, rats, baby possum. But there was like a couple of days where it was like, wow, like Sirloin is devouring his food. The water dish is like everywhere. And there's also food everywhere. Like, it's chaos. I was like, huh. So I would like fill up the dish and the water again. And again, same thing would happen. And so I was like, And there was some weird poop. I was like, So I was in the kitchen and I heard this rustle, 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 rustle. And so I go back and there's this raccoon who's like, it was like waddling to the cat door, but then took a left turn and was in films, and I was like, oh my God, how am I going to get him out of there? So I just kind of had a broom and I was like beating, like standing outside the door, but beating on one of the film racks so that he would run out. So there's my raccoon story. Not very interesting in the grand scheme of things. But so if I haven't alienated you enough with all these raccoon films, here is a reel that we occasionally run across these, and this came from Basement Films, and it was not in a can. There wasn't a label on it. My assistant Kayshawn scanned it, and he called it Random Tales, Tails. And so this is, I feel like, is a deliberate compilation made by somebody, and I think that the scratches were intentional to create some sort of visual something. So this is a lot of the beginnings and ends of things. Sometimes they're upside down and backwards. Sometimes they're right side up. They're faded. It's all over the place. It's a mishmash. So it is experimental, but it's also just kind of this interesting, like, it could be things that somebody just clipped out and then it was in a box of clips of outs, and then they just went in and just took everything out and spliced it all together. So we're going to go through this adventure together. This is Random Tales. Enjoy.
Language and a medicine. You're about listen roll for them, see you're about. So was he didn't it? I was get hot down in this chin up about the wits. Or Rohana. Or Jameson made me you will hook yellow before this are in him. We're never like you will not give them up.
And the marshmallows are
Giving makers in the Department of Labor.
One real gauge to show you, and then I have a picture of another one that I'd like to show you.
Your old tempter.
I will be able to buy you a new... ne. Surf no wap die brushing yes must. Nej, jag har not zero must.
Ja, ik zie die running off down easy and but I'll be excited off that.
Nu praat met ziel op net. Zo, waar hij weer. Ja, zullen we zo. Hier valt de wees dus net. Zo, wat we niet met een heel skills dat in de opstrochten met me. Zo, meer gips oor en trof me. Hier buiten is weer al.
Ja, vergiss niet. Maar je mag niet aan met dat.
Always come from great battles. Here, in an American fort in upstate New York, men won by...
Begins and it lasts through October, November, and most of December. During autumn months, there are always plenty of leaves to rake up. Autumn days are good days for working because the weather is cooler than in the summertime. What happens when the weather gets...
Coming in over Yellowstone. No sound but our own. Can't hear them on the sea breeze off Nantucket. Can't hear them off the bounding coast of Maine.
No. Can you hear the mixing voices and the changing air? Listen.
It's all happening, right at the center. Every morning, Jill Caputo has breakfast and then leaves her husband and Joe. Oh.
He wasn't the season, you're in the bad.
Man has become proficient in the transport of...
Alva, Bago, Hudver, is there with one?
Yes, till roll when the deer out. Well, if it's either. Heel little snevit some ship that's doing in a Malay in the crowd. There's their help when the feet was there not even gay in that up. Ja, så let's see realizing that he seems their help with down to try down that. Even though the rops their help when the fields you all. Out in the air. So they bury themselves in the wet sand or find shallow pools. On a rocky coast, the seaweeds and the animals are able to fasten themselves securely to the rocks and so avoid being cast up on the beach or smashed against the stones. On coastal seas, the water is like a rich soup, full of microscopic plants and animals. The worms have only to stretch out their hairy gills to capture the minute fruit. In the pockets of water left by the retreating tide, there is gathered a rich variety. On these sandy beaches, there are few animals, for there is nothing solid for them to hold on to when the waves come sweeping in. The small crustaceans and mollusks that live here have to contend not only with the gulls. At low tide, they also have to face the problem of I said, here we go. Oh, he said, had them. Yes, well, I've little bit over there, lives gay in there. I just am sitting here in law. Or sitting there. Yeah, and scan of the house, and you say, out without my child, we do it. It is, seems the house down pad like scatter hill net. If with the pack and all loose, the other she's fair all. Yeah, I steer him pad out, my child, we do it. Yes, ja, ja, den nodig. Ja, en ja, we nas gera heel dus is in a viro. En het wat raai, ja, rut them. En ja, rut the land zo is some isne. If the that as it out den no. Ja, lops haskus gera heel nek me nou ben no ja, nu is veel or are. Ja, lo skat. I would just smash that I head off him. Heard else down we just touch down, and yes, I'll ray out by shall we do it. If there's pack and all loose down and I'll or with it. Girl. And everything's mad so upskin that. Nice and you're flush that I'm a child blue down you will often down there aha. Yeah, if the off him down in it elves yeah, it's office. I'm a there if there was now still it did the law from the down ritz nest or premier half scout marks it. But the crowd didn't that.
Long after the land is arid and farms abandoned, our oceans will continue to yield crops for man's needs in ever-increasing abundance.
Yellow off, seen him and they. In this field, when it will mourn there, well, when him and the nurse the resource, and the V and off she farts in this bear. So, we'll daft there, seeing it. Seeing him and the silver lead. Session up, steering now. If it passes these and row with, there's no. All in
Yeah. You're welcome, and I'm sorry. No, that's it, for me. It's fascinating for a couple of different reasons. One, there's a diversity of the types of film stock. You could tell that they were experimenting with scratching the film, but also punching holes in the film. So I don't know if you saw like holes. So there was a lot going on there, and this might have been a workshop where kids were doing this, or students were doing this, college students, or it was, somebody who was experimenting on their own. They could have made this as a reel to show behind a band, and they were just trying to show interesting visuals there. Who knows? And, I might not get an answer. And this stuff does show up periodically where it's like, oh, somebody did this on purpose. And I've seen people do it with when they process film that kind of created this weird solarization, and I didn't not like it. I don't think I could do a whole show of this, but I was like, it's only 14 minutes. What the heck? Anyways, thank you so much, everybody who donated today financially. Kevin, Nathan, for all the raccoon love. Yeah. If you happen to be in Raleigh tonight, I'm going to be introing and doing trivia for Shrek, which is not really in my wheelhouse, but I love an audience, and I love being goofy in front of an audience. So if you want some in-person, in real life goofiness from me, love to see you and say hi. So that's at 6 o'clock tonight, I think is when it starts. So also, speaking of absurd, horrible things that you may or may not want to watch, I'm going to be participating with the Found Footage Festival's Clownathon at 4 o'clock for about an hour. And I'll be showing some films from our collection in that show that I did called Nightmares of a Clown. So they don't know what they're in store for. They're going to be showing a bunch of VHS stuff of clowns, but I'm going to knock them on their butts with some horrifying imagery of clowns who are all having nightmares or bad days. And I think they're going from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. at least. So I'll see you there. If you, it's Found Footage Festival. If you go to their YouTube channel, I think there's a live stream going on right now. But thanks again for being there. I appreciate your eyeballs and your comments and your kind words. It helps me more than you know. So thank you. And if I don't see you,